I mean, I think that the obvious is that you're not just leaving instantly when you feel that you aren't compatible anymore. I think I think we would just assume that a conversation has been had, there has been a conversation about these things. Like, okay, um I expect for you to, I don't know, rub my feet, or y'all don't run away with that. I'm just saying, like, I expect for you to love me in this way, right? And then that person is not, doing what you want them to do. After you've had the conversation, then I think, okay, now either we can revisit, or maybe it's time for me to step, because ultimately, I when we got together, we were compatible, and everything was fine and whatever. Not saying that you won't come into like hard times, but if we can talk about these times and then we can move and grow from them, not like talk about these times and now, hey, we back at the same damn spot. Like, that just makes no sense. Is My mama always said I could do bad all by myself. I have a husband, I love him dearly. We've been together for a while, and we have, had to come to hard times where we've had the conversation, okay, I'm not getting X, Y, and Z from you as I feel I should. And luckily, as of yet, we haven't had to revisit those conversations. So I think a lot of the times too is people getting into relationships with people who aren't willing to compromise. Main thing that's needed in a relation or in a marriage, I could say, is compromise and communication. So it's no reason that we would just skip over the communicating part and I would just leave. Like, we would have to have that conversation. And if we have to revisit, then then what would anybody do? I would feel that, like the other question you asked me, are we putting our, feelings first or whatever? That's just fair, because at the end of the day, we're gonna die alone. I don't know if that makes sense, if I answered your question.
No, you answer my question. I understand what you said, but I mean, so you saying like you said, you had the conversation one time, and like you said, you personally feel like you said, luckily, even in your personal relationship, y'all haven't had to revisit any of those things. And like I said too, before you came on here, I said after having that conversation, if there isn't any change behavior, I can understand wanting to
Right.
up and leave, because anyone can say anything with their mouth, but like change behavior is a real apology, or like let someone know that you're actually listening to what they're saying and trying to like improve on it or whatever. But at the same time, listen, we're human beings, right? So even if you do need to revisit it, even if you do need to revisit it again, is it that big of a problem?
Because at the end of the day, somebody is gonna feel neglected. I can't pour into anything if I'm empty. And I don't expect my man to. Like, if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do or what my husband expects me to do, I just, like, how can I expect anything from him if I'm not filling him up? I don't know. That's the way I see it. I'm not saying like off rip, like, okay, you're out of here, you're done. I am saying, like, if I see no effort after we've had the conversation, you don't care about what I need. You don't care. You clearly don't care about what I need. If I'm not seeing any effort, it's just no way that I could pour it into my husband, my son, my marriage, anything, if I am not getting what I need. That's just the way I think.
Okay, I understand that. I respect that. Okay, so my last true or false statement: most modern women have no contentment in relationships these days. True or false?
Um, I I think I think it could be true.
Could be. No, I,
No.
I'm not doing. I'm not accepting. Could be true. Could be false. I want a definitive true or false.
No, I think it's true because that goes back to one of the first questions you asked, like about the feelings being first. That's just how women are. That's just what it is. I think. No, yes, I'm gonna agree. I think that that's true.
So with women, if women are out here again, if women if a lot of these modern women, if a man that wants to date them or be in a relationship with them, if the status division you funny, if the status of the relationship is going to be largely predicated on her feelings, would you want your baby boy when he grows up to be with a woman like that? Like, I just think, I think it's very funny and interesting how black women love talking about emotional intelligence. They love talking about how there's so many black men that lack emotional intelligence. We need to start having conversations about emotional stability. We need to start having conversations. I'm not just talking about black women, just women in general, but we're in the community that we're in. We need to start having conversations about how emotionally unstable women are, how just wishy-washy some women are, how hot and cold some women are, how just like just one day they could love you, the next day they won't want anything to do with you. They got women out here like trying to take breaks from men and then coming back in their life later and thinking it's okay, thinking they can do stuff like that. Like, would you want your son to be with a woman like that?
Well, that I don't agree with, but I feel like my job as a mom raising, or having a son, I feel that I am supposed to like granted I can't tell him like what women want. I can just give my best judgment of what I feel that women want. And I think that me doing that will help him, kind of like understand like, okay, this lady is really like emotionally unstable. I think that there's a difference. Not
Mm-hmm.
saying there is a difference actually. Someone can be emotionally unstable, but that doesn't mean that them wanting, what women want mean that's just not the same thing. Like me wanting my man to, be affectionate or make me feel like feminine doesn't mean that I'm emotionally unstable by any means. So to answer your question about my son, no, I wouldn't want him to be with a woman like that. But I know that women are just emotional beings. So I have to do my best to raise him to understand that and to raise him to know, like, what it is that women really want or what I feel that women want.